In the last few weeks, I actually spent less and less time online, and how I did it and what this little device had to do with it in this video. And God, I have to say, it was hard. And if you don't know me, my name is Jolszki. I am an artist. I do post my art stuff online, so if you're actually interested in seeing that, links are in the description. But today I want to talk with you about my dumb phone. And yeah, don't be scared, it actually has buttons and not a touch screen. And if you actually do wonder, this is a Japanese flip phone and it actually can run WhatsApp and other apps. But the process power of this little device is so limited that you are actually only capable of sending some messages and maybe hear some music, but that's also it. And if you actually are interested in what exactly model this is and how I did actually load apps onto that, I can make a separate video if you want to, so please comment down below if you want to see that. But today I want to talk about all the positives I gained while spending my life with a dumb phone. And if you do wonder, I actually do have my smartphone with me. I'm actually filming with it right now, but I actually separated the use case for these two phones. And I personally never thought of buying another technical device actually helps me spending less time on them. So I actually catched myself spending more and more time on social media and also on my smartphone. And every single second I spent bored, I actually reached out my hand to my smartphone trying to get this little dopamine hit to actually not be bored. And this was so bad that actually while playing video games or while watching a film, I actually reached to my smartphone and I kind of asked myself, when did I become that addicted to my phone? And this is where I reached out to Reddit, and trust me on that, Reddit has a great subreddit called DUMBPHONE. And if you actually are interested in that topic, I had all my information and questions answered on this subreddit. I've read on this subreddit a lot from people who actually said they quit social media and also used their dumb phone and their life changed 100% for the better. And I asked myself, why not try? I wasn't really convinced on how this actually changed my life for the better. But I was curious enough to actually buy myself this little phone right here and use it. And God, I have to say, it was hard. And please don't understand me wrong. I just don't want to make this video in order to convince you to ditch out your smartphone and only use your dumb phone and be happy with it. No, I actually want to make you aware of using your smartphone. And I don't want to say you have a problem, but even if it makes you overthink on using one or two apps you spend a lot of time on, this video actually reached this point. But back to the story, I actually did purchase this phone and put in the SIM card into it and actually installed all the apps. So basically just WhatsApp. And I really have to say that the boredom I came across when using only this phone was hell. I mean, I can only describe it as a feeling you don't really want to feel, that you're not really comfortable with. I promised to myself to go through that boredom without distracting myself with kind of like housework or something like this. I really just wanted to, kind of raw dog boredom. And this was actually the best decision in this project. I just can't explain to you how much I do love boredom right now. Imagine this. Boredom is kind of this feeling society really deems and actually says it's really unproductive, but I would argue that boredom is the most productive thing you can do right now for your state of mind. So let me talk about my paintings. Every single painting also begins with the idea in my head. And for that, I actually scrolled through social media or Pinterest through my smartphone for hours and hours to kind of get an inspiration for the next motive. Most of the time I wasn't really searching for inspiration anymore. I just opened my social media apps, and while scrolling through social media searching for that inspiration, I actually realized that hours went by and me without any inspiration. And to make it even worse, I did have less inspiration because I was filled with so much noise. I can only describe it as kind of not thinking straight anymore. And this is actually all gone by accepting boredom and also just not use social media as much. And don't understand me wrong, I'm a content creator. I also do use social media. However, the use case is so limited that I actually only go on there to post my stuff, to interact with some comments and actually leave it for the good and actually turning back to my flip phone. I can only describe it as like I actually need this kind of boredom right now. I hadn't had this feeling through all of these years through using social media and my smartphone, which is pretty weird, but actually I really do like this feeling of kind of sorting your own thoughts, and actually there came across so many ideas and thoughts I've never even thought of, or actually I just kind of like pushed out of my mind, I don't know, that it kind of scared me how much time and like ideas or just, I don't know, I've wasted throughout these years only using my smartphone when I was bored. Even such things, such unproductive things as gaming or watching television, they actually feel a lot better when you're not listening to a podcast or just watching a video next to it, which sounds crazy, I know, but a lot of people are doing that, me also. And even those things become immensely more enjoyable when you're not with your smartphone in the same room. So why do I make this video? I just don't want to convince you to basically just throw away your smartphone and live without in some mountains in peace. No. But actually just think of yourself using your smartphone and to what degree you're using it. Are you actually avoiding boredom? Are you actually just too much on your phone, which can also be the case, even if you do work on the side on this phone? I just want to end this video with some kind of thought experiment. So imagine yourself going to the doctor because you have chronic boredom, and he actually prescribes you a pill, and this pill actually cures your boredom. And it is so good in that you actually never endure boredom ever again. However, the side effects of this pill are actually that you are chronically tired, you are chronically anxious, and also you actually don't feel very well, and you don't really have any time left for some other hobbies or things like, for example, such basic things as house cleaning or some other stuff. But the doctor never mentions these side effects, and you actually think to yourself that it cannot be that bad. And you might probably guess what I want to say with this story. So yeah, I just leave you with that. And if you are actually interested in me doing art or just explaining what I thought through painting this, please check out my other videos. And I would say we'll see us in the next videos. Peace.